We are live. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Thanks for joining in. This is your host, Chad, and with me is Eric from Easy Computer Solutions. What's going on, brother?
Hey, what's happening? How you doing, man? It's always a pleasure to be here. And we're doing this first episode on a Tuesday. So very excited about that.
Right. New day, new coach day, new coach time. Listen, Lon's going to be here in just a little bit. You guys, and there he is. I was just introducing you, man. What's going on? It's Lon, the winners.
Hey.
What's going on, brother?
What's up, dude? What's going on?
Glad to have you on here. I'm going on a nice Tuesday night. Very cool. New day and time. Adit's not going to be with us today. He's got a big school project, so we understand. You know, you college kids, we get it. You get that education, man. But hey, this is episode 12 on changing the tech scene, where we bring you gadgets, news, and reviews. Our sponsor today is Slick Wraps. Make sure you guys check them out at slickwraps.com. Also, NVIDIA. Make sure you check out their new app if you're a Mac user, and that's called GeForce Now. So make sure you check it out. You can play any PC games off your any of your Steam titles. I think they've even got it for like Hearthstone and some BattleNet games too. So make sure you guys check them out. As you guys know, we've switched the times. I'm volunteering for football over at the Tampa Bay Bucks. Go Bucks! But
they won this past week.
Yeah, they did. Right? They destroyed. They actually came out hot, man. It's because we're here now, so you know they gotta. Which is funny because Detroit's killing it too.
Yeah, 2-0.
Right. Hey, special shout out to my Patreon members. I see we've got one of them in the house right now. Go check them out. That's the Brandon Reverend. And also, I don't know if he's in here or not. I see some other people, but Adit, of course, is a Patreon member. And my man, Ron Waaazupp Lunsford. So thank you guys. I appreciate it. So I say, without further ado, man, let's get into some news. We're kind of all over the place today just because there's so much going on. But I say real quick, let's talk about the Galaxy Note 8. I know there was a new update that came out, and they actually let you remove the Bixby button. What do you think about that, Lon?
Well, they didn't let you remove the Bixby button, but they just
the ability to have to use Bixby with the button. How's that?
Yeah, you can actually disable it to where it doesn't do anything, which is I don't know. I think it's a good move on Samsung's part because they're giving users the freedom to not have to use it or accidentally use it or whatever. Because that's the one thing I didn't like about the button is that you get a lot of accidental presses and stuff like that. So I'm kind of glad. But I do like that Bixby voice still works, even though even when you turn it off. So it's kind of nice because I actually do like Bixby voice, but I don't like the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, I agree. The button's kind of ridiculous. I do like, I think Bixby's really cool. So, Eric, what do you think, man? Do you think that Samsung is eventually going to let us remap this button, or you think they're just like hands off? This won't be a camera. You can't, use it for anything. What do you think, man?
I think Bixby it's got his update. I think it's coming along fine. I've been kind of using Bixby a little bit, and I was like surprised to see how Bixby kind of working a little bit. But you know what? Here's the problem. We got all these. I mean, we got Google Now, we got Bixby, we got all these assistants. Every time you get a new phone,
right.
Different network, different carrier. Different OEM, you get an assistant. Wow. It's like you got LG, they got an assistant, and now we hearing Huawei might have an assistant. So everybody got an assistant. I'm just wondering, like, if Google just like dropped the hammer and say, you know what, can we all just use Google, please?
Oh, that's hilarious. Can't we all just get along and it'll be all the assistants?
Don't you got like Alexa? You got Google Now. You have Huawei coming out with their new assistant, LG, and HTC. All of them got new assistants. It's crazy. And we got Samsung. Samsung is really pushing Bixby. I think this may be more of a future thing for Samsung than Bixby, because I don't know. I just kind of thinking Samsung is doing something a little different with Bixby as far as the future wise.
Yeah, well, yeah, and and they're always trying to come up with some sort of proprietary something to lock you in, and and I understand it. It's one of those races too, like who's going to get to the next thing first. Google, of course, has a big head start, but I mean, look, Alexa jumped on the home products as fast as they could, and look at them. I mean, people actually love it, and it's funny. I was in line at the football game the other day, and one of the guys was asking me, because we were talking about tech, and because that always happens. We were talking about the new iPhones, and he's like, well, what's your favorite home assistant? I said, well, honestly, all I've really used is the Google Home, and I'm comfortable with it. It's the Google Assistant. And then he started asking me about Alexa, and I'm like, I think it's great. People love it. It's starting to become one of those, if you have it, you don't want to switch, like an ecosystem, even though it's a cheap, low cost. People are like, I'm not leaving it, kind of like getting a Nest. I guess the Nest would be a little different. It's permanent in the house, but still, though, people get locked into these things. They're like, I'm not changing.
Yeah. I might actually get that new Google Home Mini though. Like,
yeah,
just for like my office or something. I mean, for $50, it's like,
oh, that's a no-brainer, right? Yeah, it'd be like what's the other one called? The Echo Dot, same type of principle. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because something like that you can put all over.
Yeah, because I have the Echo Dot, and I have it in my living room, but for like controlling my office lights, it's a little too far away. Like I have to like scream for it to hear me. So it'd be nice to have another one.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, for $50, man. And what's cool too is and they haven't really discussed it yet, but the fact that all these phones are coming out with Bluetooth 5.0, which allows us to connect to multiple Bluetooth devices. Well, you could have those little minis for $50, in 4 rooms of your house.
Yeah.
If you could link those together somehow, you know what I mean? That would be really cool. I know it's only set up for 2, but there'd have to be a way software-wise they could just say play it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think that, I think Google really want everybody with Google Home, because if you look at it, you get Google Home for free, basically, right? I mean, anytime you buy a device, you're getting, I bought the LG G6 and got Google Home for free. I think I bought another device and I got Google Home for free. So, Google really kind of pushing that to try to get Google Home. Don't get me wrong. The Google Assistant is king. I really do like the Google Assistant. It's miles ahead of Bixby. Even with Apple's offering and stuff like that. I absolutely love Google Assistant. It works. It's fluid. It's fast.
Well, speaking of that, speaking of Google Assistant, so there's a couple things, and I didn't put it on the list, so we don't have to talk about it. It's up to you guys, but the Bose Quiet Comfort, the QC35-2s are now going to have a dedicated Google Assistant button on it, which is crazy because I remember, gosh, it was like a month ago, somebody saw a picture of it and it had a button. They're like, what is this button going to do? And the funny thing is everybody was like, that's going to be a Siri button. The fact that it's Google, right? I was like, oh, whoops, missed opportunity.
They got the bid first.
That's right.
They got the first bid.
Yep. So I was like, oh man. And I don't think, man, I'm looking at the box. Let me I'm gonna flip the camera here real quick just so our viewers can see this. So this is what they're saying it's going to look like. This is the QC35-2s. Now the funny thing is I don't think anything else has changed, honestly. I think the cans are exactly the same.
Yeah, they look exactly the same.
Yeah, and I figured that was the case too because Bose usually they'll release a product and you'll have it for years before they upgrade it. So that's what it's going to look right there. But yeah, because they were asking me that in the line too. They're like, "Oh man, we both just got those," and I was like, "Uh oh, the 2's coming out." I said, "But don't worry." Yeah. I said, "Don't worry. I think it's just going to be a button."
I'll tell you what, as far as we know. Slick.
Yeah, as far as we know, that's right. We have no idea until, of course, it's released, and then we'll see what's going on. But so I think it's cool. I love the QC35s are amazing. You guys got those, or have you used any of the those or another pair of noise canceling systems?
Yeah, I just heard. I get a lot of these. Go ahead.
No, you already start talking.
Yeah, I actually got I got a bunch of pair of headphones. I get them sent to me from all kinds of different perspective. People want me to do videos on them, and I'm finding that I do have a few pair that is pretty good. I don't have them on me, but don't know off the top of my head the name of them, but I got some pretty good headphones out of all these videos I do for these, you know, people that always send me products. So I haven't tried the Bose yet, but
if you get a chance, this goes for all you guys too that's tuning in watching this. Best Buy actually has the demo units, you know, where you can go check them out. Because I just went on a big trip. I just had to go back to Michigan for one of my clients, and I was looking at the different headphones, and that's when I was trying them out. They had Sony's, of course. I think they're the what are they called? The MX1000s or something like that. Lon, do you remember what they're called? But they're really nice. They're like the equivalent of the Bose QC35s. But man, I put those QCs on. Holy comfort, like legit. You could literally wear those things forever, you know. So I thought that was pretty nice. Quick plug for Bose. Hey Bose, if you're watching, we all want money.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good stuff about them. I've never tried them, but I always hear like good things about them. So I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to buy this pair when it drops. So we'll see how much it costs though, because the current pair is still like $330.
Yeah, yep. Sometimes you can get them on sale, like $299 or something. Yeah, they are pretty expensive. I didn't walk away with them. Let's put it that way. I didn't want. I wasn't going to break the bank for one plane ride, but I'm like, if I have to start doing this, then obviously it would make sense. But boy, those would have been incredibly great when we went overseas. Oh my gosh, because I was just using regular old Beats Generation 1s, and it didn't block out anything.
Wow. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty funny. So next on the news, it looks like GoPro Hero 6 Black looks like it's leaked. It's going to shoot 240 frames per second at 1080p. And didn't they also say it was going to shoot 4K at 60? Did you guys hear that?
Yeah,
4K 60. The 4K 60. I'll tell you what, that is awesome. What's going on right now with the 4K at 60 frames per second. I mean, gee whiz. I mean, I never thought the era would ever come that we'll see 4K 60 frames per second this early in the game, especially when you spend $4,000 on the DSLR that doesn't even do 4K at 60 frames per second. So, I mean, geez.
Well, the GH5 does 4K 60.
The GH5 does, yeah.
Yeah, Lon, you know that, don't you? But what's funny is you only shoot at 1080 on it, don't you?
Yeah, I don't shoot at 4K just because the file size is too big. So.
Yeah, man, I was trying it. I was putting a couple of them on there, and oh my gosh, it was seriously over a gig a minute. So
yeah, I even went back to 8-bit.
Oh, so. Yeah, that's what I was using. I was like, you gotta be, and that was only 30 frames, man. You kick that up to 60 frames a second, and I'm telling you, some of these videos, like obviously before I published them, and I get them down to 8 minutes, they were almost 100 gigs. I'm like, this is too much data to work with.
I went back to 8-bit just because I'm waiting for the update to drop.
Oh yeah,
because
at the end of this
10-bit is kind of pointless right now. So
yeah, I agree.
Once the update hits, 10-bit will be a lot better because you get like the faster bit or the higher bit rates. So.
Yeah, and it'll help with the compression too, I'm sure. So it'll play it a little bit easier because isn't it supposed to be 450 megabits per second?
Yeah.
That won't be large at all. Oh, that's what's funny. Yes, I'm just shooting regular. Go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, I'm shooting 4K at 30 frames per second on my videos right now. But I used to do 1080p 60. But I tell you what, before we came on the air, I mean, I got like multiple fans going on my computer right now. I mean, it is struggling. I got so pro. I mean, I got so much stuff going on. I got 2 cameras because I filmed today with 2 or 3 cameras, and I mean, I got it's just like yelling at me. I mean, i7 processor, 12 gigs of RAM, and it's still just killing me right now.
When I try to run this in Adobe, same thing with a 1080 GPU, and I've got like 32 gigs of RAM, and I mean it's a fully decked out system, and it's even though it's a 4770K, I got it overclocked at 4.1 gigahertz. It still can't even just play the video at like a quarter. You know what I mean? In high quality. It's like, oh my gosh.
I think at this point it's got to be on Adobe because I mean, Final Cut Pro lot better than Adobe Premiere Pro. I mean, I think Adobe just need to do something.
It's Adobe,
it's the software. Yeah, it's the software.
It really is. It's the way they're not utilizing the GPUs correctly, because if you look at it, it's not even taxing out the GPUs like it should be. I mean, it should be using 100%, you know, at least 90% of my GPU to throttle that entire thing. It shouldn't even be really looking at anything else. So I don't know why. I mean, that's what the Macs do. I mean, they're literally just pounding that GPU. That's why it flies through it. Obviously, it's doing rendering the whole time in the background and helping it out. But I mean, think about it. You can, the second you load in a 4K video on the Mac, it's playable immediately with nothing. You do that on Final Cut, it's like, or Premiere Pro, it's like,
Well, I think with Final Cut, like when you import all the footage, it renders all the footage at the same time. So
right, that's the other thing too. So yeah, you got to render up front to get it there versus just putting it on there and waiting for it to do it behind it. You know, we should have the option. You know what I mean? We should be able to check if we want.
Yeah,
that's weird.
And I mean, I believe it or not, it's so funny for me. I actually use Final Cut Pro and I use Adobe Premiere Pro, but I master Adobe Premiere Pro so much that when I do Final Cut Pro, even though I can render it faster, it's just I just know everything, all the details about Adobe Premiere Pro, and but it's just a pain to use.
It is, and then you got to do proxies and all this other stuff if you really want it to be fluid, and then you got to remember to don't render the proxy, you got to render the original. It's like, what in the frickin' nightmare? That's why I'm still got this iMac that I'm looking at right now in front of me, is the ease of use for video editing. That's really the only thing that I use this for. It's a great system, don't get me wrong. It's a beast, but my gosh, Adobe, I yell all the time on Twitter. Every time it crashes, I'm like, this piece of beep, 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 beep.
But you know, the funny thing about it now, since the iPhone and all these other devices start to shoot 4K 60 frames per second, I mean, are we going to see people using? I mean, this file size is going to be huge. I'm just kind of figure out how the iPhone is going to 64 gigs of storage. But
well, you heard though, right? That you heard that with the new compression, it's actually taking up 40 to 50% less space. And think about it, like right now. I've got the 256 gig iPhone 7 Plus. It's 70 gigs is being used, and that's everything I'd ever put on this phone. But 30 gigs of it is video and photos. So if it took only half of that, that 64 would be fine. Because the other thing is I've got it set to tell, you know, everything goes up to Google for free. So I don't even need that on my phone, honestly. I could just delete it and use Google Photos after it's already uploaded, and I don't even need that space there. So 64 gigs is better today. Think about it with the cloud than anything else. Even though I get the 256.
I'm wondering, once we start talking about the Apple iPhone, I'm wondering how the quality is going to look, especially when it's being compressed like that. When you take it off the iPhone and put it on the PC. Do you think so?
Yeah, I do, because it's using that, gosh, it's not H.264, isn't it H.255 or H.?
6.5.
6.5. So so it's the exact same thing. It's just the way that it compresses the video. It's, you know, it's just zeros and ones. It's the way that it handles it. I don't think there'll be any quality loss.
I don't think it's not going to look anything like a DSLR or like a mirrorless camera though, because like the bit rate is probably going to be a lot lower.
Oh yeah.
It'll probably be like it'll probably cap out like 100 megabytes or something.
Yep,
that's my guess. I don't see it being like 150 megabyte bit rate or anything like that.
No, I think it'll be lower, honestly. I think it'll be more like 50, maybe 60 max. Because
like you look at the V30, the V30 at like 4K 30 frames it maxes out at like 52 megabytes per second on the bit rate.
Right. So I guess if you doubled it, you're right. That would chew through some data. I'm getting the 256 only for that reason. Like we talked about the other day on your show, Eric. You know, I like to use that in a pinch too in my videos. If I go, oh crap, man, I forgot a quick B-roll or an intro or something really fast, I grab my phone and I go, okay, here it is, and we're done.
Look, 5 to 10 seconds, that's it.
In and out of there. So I don't ever want to worry about space. To me, the extra 100, 150, 200, whatever it is, I mean, because at the end of the day, I'll end up reselling it. It holds its value. It isn't like, you total loss. You know,
Right.
So to me, it doesn't matter. Every year something comes out, I'm going to have that. So what difference does it make? My money invested on the 256 today will be the same I invest in a year, minus my 30% loss. So
yeah,
that's how you got to look at some of these, like, oh my gosh, it's $1,000. Well, guess what? You're going to sell it for 700 next year and you're going to get another 1,000. So it only costs you $300 for a whole year. Done. Rental, $30 a month, less than rental.
Unless it's in bad shape.
Quit crying.
You got the back all cracked up or something.
Yeah, right.
That. It don't depend on how it look.
Yeah, unless you
people
don't take care
use
of
cases and stuff.
Yeah, you can thank Slick Wraps and D-Brands and all the other guys that are like, man. Quick shout out.
So funny.
Make sure you use that product.
Yeah, right. You need that.
That's right. That's right. It actually saved me. This is funny. I just contacted them. The Note 8, I dropped it off the back of my car during this whole hurricane evacuation, literally trying to throw stuff in the back of my car. You probably can't see it, but it scratched the whole back. I swear if I did, and this isn't just the plug, if it didn't have this on here, this thing would be toast. And I would not get my $700 next year for the Note 9. 10, because they won't make a 9, but you know what I mean? Yeah. Hey, listen, it's 22 after the hour. I say we do a giveaway. Eric, you want to give away a Slick Wraps skin to someone for any phone that they want? You guys can visit www.slickwraps.com. And remember, they also have other skins out there for laptops and gaming systems, PS4, some really cool stuff. Eric, every show, I don't know if you know it or not, but we always try to give away a couple prizes. You're going to do the first one today. It can be a trivia question, theme, numbers, colors. I don't care, man. Whatever you want. Go ahead and fire away. You can see them in the chat down there, too.
Wow. In the chat, shouts out to everybody in the chat room and everything, and I really appreciate Team Easy Computer Solutions showing up. I see y'all guys in the building,
keeping it real.
And look, shouts out to everybody. But let's see, trivia question. What is the date? The first person that put this in, what is the date of the release date of the V30?
Oh,
30.
Oh my.
What is the release date of the V30?
Never.
I tell you what, you guys said never. It's the essential vaporware situation again.
The V30. That's the trivia question. The first person put it in wins. That Slick Wraps.
And you can see on my screen right now, I'm showing you all those different beautiful things you can get from Slick Wraps. Look at a tier said, I have no idea. Oh, that's great. Hey, what's up, electronic consumer? Google's your friend.
Right,
oh, there it is.
Yeah, look at that. There it is. Somebody, they're all Googling it.
Hey. Tech for your needs. You are a winner of a Slick Wraps skin for your phone. Make sure to DM me on Twitter. If you're not able to DM me, don't worry. Just send me a message and I will follow you, and then you will be able to DM me. So I'm not blocking you out. It's just if we're not Twitter buddies over at CoachCWC on the social, then you won't be able to communicate to me.
And I want to say shouts out to Tech for Your Needs. He is a lucky guy. He actually won on plenty of my giveaways, by the way.
Get out of here.
He won a phone, I think 2 phones. If I'm not mistaken, he won a phone. He won all kinds of stuff on my YouTube channel. So he's a very lucky guy. So shouts out to Tech for Your Needs, a.k.a. Lewis. He is a Easy Computer Solutions subscriber. And I got the whole gang coming over here. So
very nice. So there's our first winner. And we got another lucky winner in here, the Reverend. He was one of our Ps4 Pro giveaway winners. He got a Ps4 Pro, Artist 7 headset, D-brand skin, and something else, if I remember correctly. But that was around Christmas. We gave away 4 of those suckers, and he was one of them. And he's followed me ever since. So tell me those giveaways don't work, man.
Oh, they work. Definitely work.
They do. Hey, back to the news. So with the iPhone X and 8 and 8 Plus, what are you guys going to get? Now, Lon, I know you're going to get everything just because you're over there with Android Authority, but what would you personally buy? I know you probably won't, but
we don't get iPhones, man.
Oh, really?
No. Obviously, we're called Android Authority.
Yeah, but if you look at Apple Insider and all that, they always get them.
No. I'm buying one personally for myself, but
okay. Which one are you gonna get? The 10 probably, right?
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the 10 because like I have the 7 Plus, and I'm gonna eventually sell that. I just help fund it, so that's what I do every year though. I just buy an iPhone, keep it for a year, sell it, get the next one. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, I do the same thing. It'll just be the Plus every year. Yeah, whatever, the 10, 11, whatever they're gonna come out with now.
yeah. So
what about you, Eric? Are you gonna get one of them, or are you just so against?
Well,
you were firing shots, by the way, Lon. You would have dug that. Your Android Authority team would have loved that, man. They're like, Apple sucks. We hate iOS. That's why I got on a show the other night. I was like, put me on the panel. Let's talk. Let's talk about some Apple
I tell you what, I actually was defending. I was defending the iPhone. I was defending the iPhone. And my guess, I was trying to put it in some perspective, but they was tearing the iPhone apart.
Yeah, they were. I was trying to defend something fierce. Lon, I was telling them, remember in Taiwan, they did the same thing. Remember? They just went nuts over there at that table, and I pulled it out.
Wait, what?
When we were at the dinner table with the president over there in
Yeah.
Taiwan, and I pulled out my iPhone, everybody was, because I had the SA Plus at the time, remember? And I brought my iPhone. Everybody's like, oh my gosh. They're like, what do you got that for?
Wait, were we sitting at the same table?
Yeah.
I don't know if we were or not, but
I don't think we were.
Holy crap, it turned into a huge discussion. That's how Ron Lunsford and Adit and all these guys, that's how they're in this group, is because of that one long discussion about it. But I ended up smoking somebody for about an hour. It was just brutal. Oh, but anyways, so yeah, I'll be getting the iPhone 10. What about you, Eric? I know you're going to go out and get like 4 or 5 of them for a big giveaway, right?
Yeah, well, actually, it was so funny last year. It was so funny last year for the iPhone 7. I actually camped out for 8 hours,
Wow.
I bought 5 iPhone 7s. I gave away three of them, I believe, in the local giveaway. So I gave away 3 iPhones last year, and I bought all 5 of them. It was so funny that I camped out overnight, bought 5 iPhones. I think I gave away 3 of them to a local giveaway that I did.
Wow, that's awesome.
So this year, no, I'm kind of seeing if I can get a few of them.
Yeah,
I talked to a couple of sources that I can try to get one.
Yeah.
But the iPhone 8 Plus, I'm gonna grab.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna have to get 2 iPhone 10s because my daughter wants one. So I got to get 2 of them. So I definitely got to find some kind of way to grab 2 iPhone 10s, and I'm getting the iPhone 8 Plus.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, I would love to be able to just, finance them off of T-Mobile, pay the $40 or $50 a month or whatever. But honestly, I don't think you're going to be able to do that, man. I'm going to jump right on Apple because they limit you too. Apple limits you to 2. Yeah, because same with my watches. I got one for me and my wife. Couldn't get one for my son. Like, it's 2. They're like, that's all you get, kid. Go away. I was like, oh. So I'm going to do, that's the first thing I'm going to do to make sure I at least get in on this pre-orders. I'm going to jump on Apple, get 2, then I'm going to head over to T-Mobile. This is good for you guys to know too, if you don't mind paying the extra, the money up front. But I think this is going to be where you're going to get it, because as you guys know in the past, before there was a shortage, it was next to impossible. iPhone, which is crazy. I ordered this the night of the release, like within 10 minutes. Because I always jump on, at 3:01. And they, of course, had nothing but problems, said they'll call me back. I kept calling them back. It went all the way until the morning. And guess what? We don't have your order, sir. We have nothing on file for you. Well, I'm sorry, you talked to 18 managers and nothing worked. So that's why I didn't do a big review of it, because I was like, psh, by the time it came out, it meant nothing anymore. Like 2 months later. That's 60
it's so funny. I actually don't even do iPhone videos. I might do like camera comparisons, but I have like all the iPhones sitting back here. And actually, I did an unboxing of an iPhone December, and I maybe did 1 battery cycle on it, and it's sitting in a box. I really don't even use iPhones. But I unbox them, and I don't know, I just kind of give them to my daughter. But I got like 4 or 5 of them sitting back here, and I just...
Yeah. The funny thing is I dug out a bunch of old ones, and I think I've got, I want to say, maybe you guys can tell me. I mean, I have to look up, obviously, the model, but I think this is the 4, which was cool because this also had the glass bag.
Yeah, that looks like the 4.
Yeah, so I'm going to use this in my iPhone 8 Plus videos because, you know, it'd be the closest thing, obviously. And then I have no idea, you know, we just moved down here, so I found all this crap. And then I had an old, I think this is the iPhone 4S. Does that look right?
No, that's the 5.
Yeah, that
Is
looks
it
like
the 5?
the 5.
That's got a metal back on it.
Yeah, it does. It's got the,
Yeah.
But here's what was funny too. I was like, look at the size difference. Like, yeah, it's like that sucker went from mini to like barely. I mean, I'm going to put that in the video, but it's unbelievable what technology has done, right? What did this have? I think it had like a 3.5-inch screen. Is that the original over there?
Yeah, 3.5. Yeah, well, this is an iPhone 3G.
Oh my, yeah, that's what. Yeah, I remember that. It was identical, but it got
very
3G.
small. Yeah, and
that was the first one I got.
Because, you know, the original iPhone was two-tone. And so when they came off the iPhone 3G, they changed it to the all solid. Yeah. So yeah, it's one of my collector's items. I actually love the device. I haven't.
Oh, I keep it forever.
In about a year.
I know. I'm actually. I think I'm going to keep these too, which is funny. This old 5 I booted up the other day, and it still works. It actually updated to version 10.3.3, I believe. I was like, "What? Get out of here!" It had like old 2000 pictures on it, and I'm like, "What?"
That's it. I mean, Apple kind of do a little support their devices a little bit. You know what I mean? You got to give it to Apple. I mean, yeah, Android is king when it comes down to features and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When it comes, you can walk into Apple Store. I mean, I could get a replacement device just like that. I mean, you got to make an appointment, but the support is so great with Apple. I ain't gonna lie to you. I mean, you pay a lot of money, but I mean, I don't have no problem with my Macs, my iPhones, anything, you know. So.
Yeah, here's a little funny time warp comparison. Look at the size difference. That's
look
from
at that huge forehead and chin.
Isn't that crazy? And here's what's funny. This thing is absolutely smooth as butter, like no lag. I was like, look at the camera. I said, you know, because it's so tiny. I was like, the camera even looks good still. Look.
Yeah, it was like what, 5 megapixels? Camera on that.
But I was like, unbelievable, you know. So I'm gonna put that in the video just for us, you know, us old cats that love that nostalgia stuff.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I can get this one to power up though, because I had the old connectors on it. You remember those?
Ooh, I think you had the 30 pin.
Yeah, I had like an old iPhone that I was using forever just to keep it around, and I think we chucked it. So I might have to buy an old adapter or an iPhone or something to power it up.
Lightning to 30 pin adapter.
Yeah, right.
Sure, Apple's got you covered.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, you bring up a good point, Lon. How about the fact that all the new iPhones, the 8, 8 Plus, and the 10 support fast charging, but you have to buy the adapter separately. Now, I know a lot of people are saying, "Oh, you got to go and buy the $80 adapter." Wouldn't the iPad and iPad Pro adapter be the same as the fast charger instead of buying
it's like a 2-prong system though. You got to buy the cable and you got to buy the brick. So so even if you just have the brick, if you don't have the cable, it's not going to work. So
I got you. So
I think you could probably just buy like the cable and use because what I'm going to do is I'm going to buy the cable and use my MacBook charger and see if that works, or if it's just going to make the phone explode.
So you don't think a regular Lightning cable is going to have the quick charge ability? Like you have to buy a special quick charge cable?
I mean, you'll probably still get like some faster charging speeds because like people still they'll use like the iPad brick on like the iPhones now.
Yeah, that's what I do now for faster charging.
Yeah, they say it charges faster. So you might get some faster speeds, but it's probably not going to be like the full speeds. At least that's my guess. But I'm just gonna get the cable and use the MacBook because the MacBook is USB-C on the brick. Well,
the big one's 85, I believe, on the 15, and I think the smaller one is what, a 45, 55, 45, I think.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be
Apple
a good test. That'd be a good test, actually,
wouldn't it? Money.
To see which one would be faster, an iPad charger, which is, I want to say, 13 watts or 14 watts versus that one, to see if there is that much of a difference. Because people are going to go out and start buying these adapters. So if it isn't that much faster, it'd be better to tell them, hey, go buy an iPad Pro charger with that cable versus, you know, a $50 or $80 adapter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Apple did, though, if you didn't notice it, for the iPads, they went from the 12-watt charger to a 10-watt charger. I had an iPad Air 2 first generation. I got a 12-watt charger with the iPad first gen. Then the second gen, I think I got a 10-watt charger. So, yeah, I think that it went down a little bit.
Yeah, so Timothy in here said, yeah, the iPad Pro only comes with a 12-watt charging. You need at least 20 watt. Okay, so that's why. So you need at least 29 watts for the quick charge. Okay, cool. Thank you, Timothy.
What's the one on the MacBook? Like the
smaller one?
No, the Pros. Not the Airs.
The Pros, I want to say, is 45, 44, 45. And then the MacBook Pro 15s are, I want to say, 85. So it wouldn't do anything if you had the biggest one. Obviously, it doesn't go over.
Yeah,
so
yeah, because I have a 15-inch. I have the 2017 15-inch MacBook Pro. So
yeah,
I was just gonna use that brick and see if it does anything.
Let's see. Tony said Unbox Therapy made a good video about it. Oh, he already. Well, no, I saw the one where he said USB-C to Lightning adapter. That's not what we're talking about. We know that. We're talking about just the adapter. No one's discussed anywhere on YouTube which adapter actually you needed. So that was. Now hurry, everyone! Rush out and make that video. Anything that says Apple's gonna sell. Yeah. Or put don't buy this. That's the latest thing, right? Don't buy these. These are terrible. Don't ever get these. Clickbait, clickbait. So the other thing with the iPhones is the wireless charging, which is great. Because here's the catch-22, which I'm still. I mean, all of us are mad about. I'm sure. You know, we don't have the headphone jack. Wow. Okay, got it. That was horrible. Still, every day I hate it. Trust me, every time. Because in my car, I don't have Bluetooth that I can connect to in the car. So I have nothing. But wireless, like I used to do with my Android phones, I set up a little wireless charger on it, and then I can plug in my little Lightning to 3.5 millimeter and use it into my stereo system because I'm not using the power anymore in here. So I can see that as a win for people with older cars or not having Bluetooth. As the wireless, you can have that charging in your car by setting this up on the wireless holder, and then you get to still use your mic jack. So that's a big deal to me anyways.
Yeah.
You guys are like, no, I don't use it.
I don't know. I'm not a big wireless charging guy, so.
Yeah, it's a lot slower.
Actually, I got the Samsung wireless charger, fast charger. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, they're better. And did you guys see too that they're saying with a with a software update, they are going to make it faster wireless charging.
What, for the iPhone or?
Yeah, for this generation iPhone, they're actually already talking about once they make sure everything's okay and doesn't blow up, they are going to increase it to, I believe it was like 12 watts or 14 watts or something, which wirelessly means about half. But considering it's going to be a slow trickle now and you doubled it, it would then be almost comparable to fast wireless charging.
A slightly faster trickle.
Nice.
Yeah, slightly faster trickle. About 4% per hour top off.
Yeah, because even fast wireless charging is not that fast. Because like the Samsung one, it's faster, but it's still not as fast as fast wired charging.
Right, that's true.
You can still tell that it takes a while.
Right. And then, so now with the, you guys excited about the Apple Watch 3? I mean, if you end up getting the iPhone, I'm sure you've been looking at the Watch 3, at least to know what's going on. Are you guys going to grab one of those with LTE data?
I don't know.
Not sure?
I don't know.
No, do you have any of them now, Eric? Do you have any of the Apple Watches?
In the Apple Watches, I have all Android Wear.
Yep, that's the Huawei on your wrist there.
This is actually
Moto
this is the Moto 360 flat tire, first gen.
Yep. Don't wear that too much because I already saw people in the chat complaining about the iPhone 10 screen having the flat tire. So don't let them see your watch because we had that for years. Shots fired! Shots fired! Well, here was the cool thing, right? The generational step for me, obviously the faster system. So the Apple Watch 3 versus the 2 is going to be 70% faster, which is great. The reason why the 2 was better than the 1, besides the speed, was the fact that it was IP67. So I didn't have to worry. I could shower in it. There was absolutely no worry about it. So the advantage on this one is, of course, it's faster, just like they always have to be, is the LTE. Now, the nice thing with the LTE, like I think I was saying it on your show the other day, Eric, is like for my wife, right? She does that ship shopping. She delivers groceries to seniors and other people's homes. I'm like, well, what if she doesn't have her phone, or what if her phone dies, or, you know, what if some knucklehead grabs her? You know what I mean? The fact that she doesn't have her phone doesn't matter. She still has her watch. To me, not just, I went out to run on a marathon, I didn't want to carry my phone or whatever. I'm like, safety alone, it's great to have. If something happens to your phone, if it dies, there's an emergency. Hell, we just came through this hurricane. You know, if we got separated from your phone, I mean, this is serious. For $10 a month, you're telling me we got a basically a tether to you that, you know, because you still have Find My iPhone, right? So we can find each other, family and friends. You could send out a beacon, 911, whatever you got to do. So now think about that. So maybe right now you guys are like, well, it might not be right for me, but what if your kids were in school, right? If like when my son was a kid and he was, you know, we give him a phone and all that stuff. Well, this would be great too. What if somebody tried to snatch your kid, or he got separated from his phone, or, you know, kids are going to be kids. They'll break it. They'll lose it. Johnny takes it, whatever. You know, you still have a way to communicate, get a hold of somebody. They can get a hold of you. I mean, that alone, that's why you're going to see that Apple Watch sell at least 60% more than the last generation, which the last generation has already beat every watch that's ever come out. You're going to see it.
I mean, the thing about it is you see that T-Mobile, AT&T has already came up with their pricing, like.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's what I was going to say, too. And now, because I'm with T-Mobile, so now it's going to be unlimited data, which I think it should have been in the first place. I think they just overlooked it or didn't care about it, honestly. But so now on T-Mobile, it's unlimited, $10 a month, kind of just like an add-on for your iPads and everything else. So the data isn't restricted. I mean, obviously, the battery life is terrible. I think it's what is it, 1 hour talk time LTE? Yeah, it's not like you're hanging out on your phone. It's more like, well, think about it now. I mean, every once in a while I'm carrying a bunch of crap. Seriously, I'll hit it on my phone and I'll answer it before I go to get my phone and then transfer it to my phone. It isn't something I'm like, hey, hon, you want some more soda at the grocery store?
But y'all know the millennials, they gonna be on their phones.
If you're that guy, stop it.
Look, it's going to be the millennials, the teenagers. They're definitely going to be all over their watch. I mean, just think about the teenagers, the millennials. Right. They're going to be on their watch.
Yeah, you know what's funny is one of the coolest things, I remember when the Samsung phone had the camera on it. I was like, this is awesome, right? I still have it. I actually kept it because it was the first one that was like that. I'm like, man, it would be awesome to have FaceTime on this thing. And you know, that's, I mean, eventually it's going to have to come. This is Apple's premium product. Everyone.
You're talking about the watch that had the camera.
Yeah, on the watch. Wouldn't that be sick having FaceTime on your watch?
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. There's a lot of security or privacy concerns with cameras on watches.
Yeah, they were saying that with the Google Glass too, and that was just, to me, that's a bunch of BS. I don't buy any of that.
I don't know. I kind of feel like that's why it disappeared, to be honest, because people could just sneak photos and stuff.
I don't think so, because you can do that with your phone now. Everyone has a phone more apparently than they were worried about those glasses. That was just something for people to bitch about, and they didn't understand it. They honestly just didn't understand it. They had no idea what it even was.
Samsung Gear S1 had a camera on it. Didn't the Samsung watch have a camera?
Yeah, we've had three.
That's what he was talking. Yeah, that's what he was referring to. Like the
a bunch of them now.
Yeah, the Gear Live or whatever it was, or something. The Gear 2 Neo or some crap like that.
Yeah, the Neo was the second one that had it, but the one before it had it too. But
yeah,
we had the silver band versus the cheap plastic band. Remember?
Oh yeah, the original Gear had the bulging camera on it.
Yeah, yep. It was like I'm recording you.
I think the only way I think the only way they'd bring it back to like watches and stuff is if it does like the thing like the Snapchat spectacles where like it makes like it lights up and stuff and people know that you're recording.
Well, they talked about that with glass. They were just going to literally have a red light on it. I mean, I still think that's BS. I already said Android Wear killed Google Glass because it was more of a notification device than people were using as a camera, only in the beginning. So once you could then, because here's what's funny, when I used to wear it, So I get a notification, it go off on my glasses, it go off on my watch, it go off on my tablet, and then it hit my phone. So it was like, because back then, before, you know, it was all integrated, it wasn't smart enough to go, hey, if he's looking at it, that means cancel it everywhere else. Hey, if he checks it on his phone, clear it on my watch, my tablet, you know, it didn't understand. It was like, everything was like, I'm like, what's going on? Like, what just went off, you know?
Yeah.
But then you didn't need notifications on your face anymore. You could get it. But still, they should have killed it for that and said, I want a camera on here. Because here's what's funny. People don't realize this, that had already been, I had an Arcos. I don't know if you guys remember the Arcos players. It was a video player, but it also had, it's ARCHOS. It was an Arcos 9 that actually had a tethered wire. It almost looked just like a regular lightning cable, and at the very end of it was like a fiber optics camera that then attached to glasses or your helmet. They already had this way before Google Glass even thought about this thing. But the fact that no one understood it, it was a new technology, and it was amazing. I mean, and that was way before GoPro. I mean, GoPro wasn't even a thought yet. But they're like, what is that? Again, people didn't understand it. They didn't know what you're supposed to do with it, you know. Did I just show my age on the old technology?
But I can tell you, when you talk about the Arcos, I actually made a video about the Arcos 5, which was a terrible tablet, by the way. Oh my goodness, Arcos 5. I call that like one of the worst tablets of all time.
Hey, I got it here for you. Check this out. I'm gonna flip my screen. There's something you guys have never seen before. This is what it looked like before GoPro. So this is the Arcos helmet camcorder. Can you see that?
I can't believe you can still find it on Amazon.
I know.
Amazon sell everything.
See that right there? See the cord running up to them? Hey, that's me. Now this is great. See the Arcos 604. That's right. That's the player I had. You can see it has the little microphone on it. And I mean, that was, dude, I'm telling you, this thing was like way before its time. This is before YouTube and everything else. So yeah, like when GoPros and all this stuff come out, I was like, yep, I've already seen all that. People are like, it's so amazing. I'm like, it's been around forever. Like when Android Wear come out, I'm like, no, have you guys seen the Moto Active? That's been around for years with Android on it. Used to play games and watch Netflix and Google Music and YouTube on my watch years before there was Android Wear.
I tell you, looking at that, that's kind of remind me of a Mission Impossible.
Oh yeah, for sure, right? Here, I'm gonna flip this. Have you guys seen the Moto Active? Do you guys remember that device at all? Because it wasn't a thing.
I don't remember it.
Well, here you go. Here's the very first Android watch that ever came out that no one knew about, and is still today better than every watch that we've ever had.
Nice.
Like that was Android Wear, or was it just Android?
No, it was full blown Android. That's what made it great.
Okay. Yeah.
And the thing is you know, of course, you had to unlock it and everything else to get it. But this thing was a beast. It had a big screen, touch screen on it. I used to use this for football all the time. It was amazing. Nice. I mean, look at how nice that is. You could detach it right from the band.
Nice.
Right? So, hey, seriously, when you guys get bored later, look at it, because I think there was a couple YouTube videos on how you hack it and what it does. I'm telling you, there hasn't been anything since it.
That's nice. I actually like that, though. That's pretty slick.
Yep.
You know, Motorola's made some good product, man. I tell you, Motorola really was a good company.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right. Until, I mean, here's the thing: they kind of had a catch-22 because they had so many brilliant patents. They didn't know what to do with all of them, and then everybody come in and just started dissecting them and, you know, just eating them, basically just picking them apart until they weren't really left with, you know, the core. I mean, everybody come in. Look at what was it? Google came in and bought pieces of them. I know a lot of phone companies came in and bought them because they were a big, you know, phone manufacturer.
And Google kept Project R and they scrapped the whole thing. So it's like they wasted the time. Like, we'll keep this part, we'll sell the rest, and then we'll just scrap it.
Yeah, and that's what was.
I mean, Project Tango. I mean,
yeah, where'd that go?
Project Tango. You know, but they actually renamed it or something, right? It's not called Project Tango anymore. It's called something else now. As soon as Apple WWDC came out,
it's AR Core now.
Oh, is it AR Core?
Oh, okay.
Short for vaporware.
Yeah. Well, like the AR Core is basically like it's like Tango Lite because it doesn't require like the sensors that Tango did. Like basically, pretty much any Android phone with like good specs is going to be able to use it. So.
Yep. Oh yeah. Well, and that was the thing with the Essential, right? I still got I don't even know where the hell that phone is. I think it's on the kitchen. But anyways, that was one of the cool things with that is the fact that he was talking about what's his name? Andy Rubin was talking about coming out and making it all basically open license so that we can attach to every different system with their home gear. And I do like that idea. I mean, I don't know if it's going to take off, just like I don't know if this Essential is going to make it or not. But I mean, it's a great concept, right?
Yeah.
But can it work? I don't know. I mean, people fight too hard, right? That was the whole back in the day between Microsoft with different network systems, operating systems, you name it. Novell versus Microsoft. You know, back in the day, it was huge. So we've always had this. You know, think about it. And then Microsoft came out and they would only let Internet Explorer on the system. And then they got sued because Firefox and then Chrome later. And, you know, Netscape Navigator couldn't be on it. But it was open source. Everyone was allowed. They were supposed to be able to do it.
Yeah.
Install Windows. What's it tell you? Oh, you want to use this, and then put Chrome on. It's like, you sure you don't want to use this? Are you absolutely certain? Like, no, I don't want you. Are you really? Are you sure that's a security? Like, dude, seriously, I don't want you.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, I know we're not discussing Microsoft, but man, what is Microsoft doing right now? Like in the shadows?
Well, I mean, they're doing all the Surface stuff. The Surface, they didn't realize. Well, I mean, they remember the first year the Surface products come out. It won't take a lot of time, but the first year the Surface products come out, they lost $1 billion. So it wasn't like they didn't even know what they had until everybody wanted to start copying them, because that was what they're supposed to. That was the original intent of the Surface line, is because people didn't want to adapt to 8 because 8 sucked so bad. They were like, we have to show them something, a reason why we developed 8. That was the only reason that product came out, because it was like, oh, well, this is what it can do. And then they were like, they even said it at every event. You can copy this. You can use this. You can use everything we have on here. And, of course, they did to a T, HP, all these guys. Were like, we'll make it the same and put HP on it. Then it took off. Then it was like a product. So now here we are in our 5th generation. So they're making money on that. So instead of them just being a software giant, instead of getting a piece of every single Android phone that sells, I mean, the hardware line is a very viable option for them. I think what did they say they made this year? $4 billion in sales, I believe, off the Surface line. So anybody that thinks you're not making money on that, they're just crazy. You know, I don't know. Maybe Sony or Samsung's laughing at it, but that's a lot of cheese. So they know. I remember a long time ago they were talking about killing the Xbox line. I'm like, you guys would be fools to kill the Xbox line.
I'm like, no, don't do it.
Yeah, they were dead serious. Every generation, like, oh, I think we're going to kill it. I'm like, get out of here. For what? Don't be a Nintendo, you know?
And now the Scorpio is sold out.
Right? Just like that.
Yeah. I think there's supposed to be another, like, there was rumors of another pre-order date this week.
Oh,
yeah.
Yeah,
it's not going to be the Scorpio edition. It's just going to be the regular one.
Yeah, yep. They did say the Scorpio is going to be limited. I think I got one this time, and that's only because when I got the Xbox One, what was it, launch day edition 2013 or whatever, I bought a bunch of those. Nobody cared. You know what I mean? It's just like, whatever. That's good for one video. I think I did one video.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do a giveaway or something. Well, hey man, listen. It was great talking to you guys. Lon, what do you got? You got anything going on, man? Anything you want to update us about?
I don't know if I can mention it because it might be under embargo. So
no problem. But you're a busy man over there.
Yeah.
I love watching your videos, man. You always help me to make my videos better. And just so you guys know, make sure you watch Lon's videos. He's over at Android Authority, but I'm telling you, his stuff, when they say crispy, no, man, his stuff's on fire. It's lit. I actually love watching them. Everyone's getting better. They look great. You make me cry when I look at my own because it's terrible. I hate you for that, but you empower me to do better.
Mine are pretty bad.
But hey, just so you guys, I mean, I always ask Lon, don't I, dude? You're the first person I go to on camera advice, lighting, sound. Like, hey, what do you think? And he's a great sounding board.
I don't even know why, because I'm not the best.
Yeah, but you know, because we're friends, and I trust and you've been around. I mean, you see what people are using, and you know, so I trust your judgment.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
I mean, that's why I was like, I grabbed the GH5 and everything, even though I hate the file size and I don't feel like I'm using it to its full potential. And that's why I'll be back on that 80D like tomorrow. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But same thing with that lens, but that'll be another topic. But anyway, so Eric, what about you, man? You got anything going on? Why don't you tell us some of your show dates? Because I know you're on, what, 8 days a week? Go ahead.
Oh, man, I'll tell you what, I actually stream Monday. It's weird. I stream Monday, Wednesday, Saturdays. Monday morning hangover, which is more of a kind of get your coffee ready. Let's talk about what happened over the weekend, what's going on. Then Wednesday, I have special guests on Wednesdays, and I have special guests on Saturdays. So, you know, and then I drop videos in between. So I'm pretty much 7 days a week.
Man, you are a busy man.
Oh, man. And then I got 3 YouTube channels, too. So
goodness gracious. So I'm fighting with one, and my other one's on standby.
Yeah, I kind of manage all 3 of them, but now I got a little support, little staff, so kind of help me out a little bit because definitely was hurting, man. You know, it's kind of juggling everything. So
that's
shouts out to the staff at Easy Computer Solutions. Also, shouts out to the fans. You know,
that's great.
My channel kind of grew overnight.
Yeah, well, listen, man, we're really glad to have you on the show, Eric, because you are the hardest working man in YouTube right now. Oh, listen, I have a bunch of reviews coming up per usual. Let's hope they get out there. It's funny, I was talking to not to name drop, but I was talking to Mike over there to Detroit Borg the other day. I can't remember what we were talking about. I think it was camera equipment or something. I was like, dude, I said I got so many videos like either shot or, you know, waiting to be edited or literally on the computer. And I was naming off stuff. I said, so there's the iMac 2017 review. It's a great system that you'll never know about. And then I was like, in the iRoomba, man, it's the greatest home product that you'll never see. And, and he was like, he said, you know what? I got 5 of them right now in the queue like that, and probably one will get done. So even the greats, you know, big shout out to Mike. He's awesome. We used to live like 35 minutes apart from each other, but big shout out to him. Same thing. I don't know if you guys know or not, but the tech community we're actually all pretty tight. I'm sure you know that by now, Eric, but when you reach out to somebody, they're always, I mean, Dom Esposito, he was actually going to put me up in a place when we were having problems, and I barely know the guy. You want to talk about awesome? Make sure you guys check out Dom's channel. He does some great work. But, you know, bored at work, you know, Eric over there, bored at work, he was one of the first ones that didn't know who I was. He's like, yeah, come on the show, man. Let's talk, you know. So some of these guys, Lisa Mobile Tech Review, I've talked to her several times on the phone. We're going to have lunch a bunch of times, and I was in Texas. God, you know, John from John Rettinger, Techno Buffalo, he's always been around. He was the very first person on my channel, believe it or not, to ever comment when I had my very first thing I ever put up. Had no idea who I was, nothing. Jumped in there and said, hey, man, that's a great review. You know what I mean?
Like, it was a fake account, wasn't it?
Yeah, right. I put it in there myself to feel good.
It didn't have a check mark. It wasn't verified.
Yeah, it's just yeah, that was before you could verify. But I was like, that's crazy. So the tech community is awesome. We appreciate all you guys for being here on the show. I appreciate you guys not minding us change the time. If this is great for you guys, make sure you let us know, because if not, we can bounce that as soon as I get done with these 8 home games on Sundays back to the normal time. Otherwise, we can keep it this way, you know, whatever you guys want, whatever, of course, works best for my host. But I want to thank you guys for being on the show, as always. Lon, great seeing you again, buddy. I'm glad you're so busy with work. Eric, thanks again for being a host on the show, man. It's always a privilege to have you here. And, of course, I'm Coach CWC. Make sure you guys stick around next time. Same coach day, same coach time. And we will talk to you guys later. Peace.